Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, and really glad that you guys are here with me as I walk through this beautiful park here, and hopefully I get to have a conversation with you guys today about a money topic. Now let me show you guys the scenery, because this scenery is amazing. Now, before we talk about today's topic, let's go through some housekeeping first. So guys, make sure you go ahead and give me a like for the video so it helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications, because of course, we want you to be notified whenever we upload new content to the channel. As this obnoxious car goes by. And lastly, don't forget to share the video with a family member or friend, because of course, we're gonna talk a little bit about a money topic today, and it's a problem that I've been dealing with, and it's a problem that I hope you guys will have one day. And the reason why I say that, of course, is because it's a good problem to have. Being in this position and having this problem is certainly not a bad thing. With housekeeping out of the way, let's jump into today's topic. And in today's topic, we're going to talk about backdoor IRAs, specifically backdoor Roth IRA. All right, so one of the questions you may be asking is, well, what the heck is an IRA? What does that even mean? Those three letters. And no, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes, people think that three-letter words are really, really bad. IRS, FBI, DEA, right? Those are all three-letter words that a lot of people get scared of. But IRA is actually a good thing. And an IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. Now remember, when it comes to IRAs, you can open up two different types of IRAs. You can do a traditional, which means before tax dollars, and you can open up a Roth IRA, meaning that you fund the account with after tax dollars, and the growth on the account grows in perpetuity tax-free, which is really, really awesome. Now, if all of this sounds foreign to you and you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the links in the description. There's two videos that I've done recently. One talks about the 5 essentials towards an IRA. Make sure you check that out and learn what that is. Second link in the description talks about Roth IRAs, the 5 W's to Roth IRAs. Make sure you check out that video so that way you can learn the history of Roth IRAs and why it's so important, because I guarantee you so many people miss out on this opportunity, and you definitely don't want to miss out on an account that grows tax-free in perpetuity for you, which is really, really awesome. And once you're done with those two videos, come on back here so that way we could talk a little bit about the problems that I've been having, which again, I hope you have, because it's a very good problem to have. Oh, and one last thing before we talk about today's topic that I do want to make sure I get out of the way. What I talk about in today's video is strictly you guys learning from my experiences. Keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. I don't have any licenses. All the things that I talk about are strictly from my experience and what I've done. And of course, this is no financial advice whatsoever. So please, please, please make sure that anything that you do in life, always get a second opinion, always consult with experts. Don't just blindly follow random people online. It's not a good strategy for success. But what I can tell you is that learning from their experiences and seeing how it applies to your world can also help you out. But you always want to double check with a licensed professional. All right, so with all the disclaimers out of the way and all that good stuff, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so one of the problems that we've been having, and it's quite interesting, is that we cannot fund a Roth IRA. Now, you may be asking, well, why can't you fund a Roth IRA? I thought the idea was to open one up, right? Fund the account, max out the account, and then have that grow for you in perpetuity, so that way when you get to retirement, you can withdraw the funds, which includes the growth. The growth is tax-free. Phenomenal account, right? But why can't I fund it? The issue that I have is we make too much money. So I'll go ahead, somewhere up on the screen here, I'll put a screenshot of what the income limits are for tax year 2023. But as you can see, it's kind of a good amount, right? You're over 200K. And I can tell you right now, we definitely exceed those income limits. And it's quite interesting because I almost feel like you get penalized for working hard. But anyways, that's another topic. So now the question is, if you make too much money and you can't contribute to a Roth IRA, well, how the heck do you do that? And that is, my friends, where we run into what's called a backdoor Roth IRA. So what the heck is a backdoor Roth IRA? So a backdoor Roth IRA simply is a loophole that allows you to open up a traditional IRA. And why do you open up a traditional account? Well, a traditional account is because there's no income limits on traditional accounts. So that solves that problem. And then after you open up the traditional account and you fund it, then you immediately roll it over into a Roth. And one of the benefits of doing this strategy is that it will allow you to circumvent these income limits that you've seen on the screen before. All right, cool. So you learned at this point what a backdoor Roth IRA is and how we take advantage of that strategy in order to go around these income limits that they impose on us. So now that you know one of the problems that we had, which was we make too much money according to the IRS guidelines. And by the way, guys, I say all that because I hope that one day you all make a lot of money and you'll have these same problems. And my experiences can guide you through some of those problems. But here's another issue that we had. So you know what's funny? The decisions that you make from many years ago always affect you in the future. And it's quite interesting because people don't realize that. And what am I speaking about here? As I was working as an engineer, I contributed to an employer's 401k all in my 20s. In my 20s, I was able to save over 6 figures in a 401k. And the interesting thing is, I actually left that employer. And when I left that employer, I actually took my money with me. So what do I mean by I took that money with me? Well, when you're saving for retirement and you leave an employer, oftentimes it makes a lot more sense to take that money with you. The reason why you may want to take your money with you is because sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get a hold of whoever manages the 401k. Oftentimes you can select better funds in the open market rather than what's stuck with your particular employer, and a plethora of other reasons that I won't bore you with. Long story short here is that I ended up taking my 401k retirement with me and I rolled it over to an IRA, individual retirement account, outside of my old employer. It was over 6 figures. Now here's where my next issue comes into play. In order to do the strategy that I just talked about earlier, the backdoor Roth IRA, you have to open up a traditional account, fund the account, and then go ahead and roll over the account to a Roth IRA. But how can you open up an IRA when you already have another IRA because you rolled over funds from a previous employer? And that is the next problem. And that is called the pro rata rule. And when I first heard this, I said, what the heck is the pro rata rule? So let me help you here. So the pro rata rule determines how much of a distribution from a qualified retirement account, such as an IRA, is taxable when the account contains before and after tax dollars. So what the heck does that definition mean? That means that when I was at my previous employer, I was contributing both to a traditional and a Roth 401k, and when I had left the company and I rolled over the funds to an IRA, that IRA now contains both traditional and Roth contributions from a previous employer. So when you're trying to open up an IRA now, you have to factor in any monies that you have in other IRAs, and you have to determine what is traditional, what is Roth, and what percentages you're trying to convert. And it creates a lot of paperwork. And by the way, that is what's called the pro rata, in a nutshell, of course. So one of the ideas that I came up with, where I said to myself, I don't want to go through this process of managing what is the traditional, what is the Roth portion, how much taxes do I have to pay because the monies are mingled together now. It was just a nightmare to figure that out. So I came up with an idea, and I thought I would share that with you guys. So I ended up starting a new opportunity with another employer, of course, and it just so happens that that employer offers a 401k. And I thought to myself, does it make sense in order to take all the monies that I had from my previous employer that sits in its own IRA outside of my previous employer and roll that into my new employer's 401k which A, gives me options to the funds that they have. And by the way, they had great funds. That was one of the things that I looked for to make sure that my money was going to work for me. Not only did they have great funds, but the other thing too was I was able to roll both the traditional and the Roth contributions that were in the IRAs to an employer's 401k. So what that basically meant was I no longer had funds in an IRA and my account was at zero. And because the account was at zero, I no longer needed to concern myself with the pro rata rule. So that allowed me at that point to fully fund a traditional IRA. And once the traditional IRA is fully funded, then I was able to immediately convert that over into a Roth IRA. That account will grow tax-free in perpetuity, which is a phenomenal thing to have, guys. So let's recap here. You just learned a little bit about what an IRA is. You just learned what a Roth IRA is. And by the way, remember, check out those 2 videos. The link will be in the description. You just learned that there are income limits for Roth IRAs. You just learned a strategy, which is called the Backdoor Roth IRA. And those are for my high income earners. So again, that is a problem that I hope you all have in the future. You make too much money and you got to figure out what to do with the money. And not only did you learn all these terms, but you also learned of a small little strategy in which I was able to use in order to remove any funds that I have in an IRA to prevent myself from running into the pro rata rule. And by the way, you just learned what pro rata means too. And that allowed me to fully fund the account. And by the way, another tip here, when you are moving the IRA into an employer's 401k like I just talked about, you're actually selling the funds in your account. So double check the value of your funds. One of the things that I was able to do was I actually sold the funds at a profit. So I actually didn't lose any money on the sale. And I was able to take all those proceeds and roll it into the employer's 401k, which is then gonna continue to grow and make me even more money. All right, guys, so I'm gonna wrap up over here. I got this beautiful lake behind me. Been having an awesome walk out here in this beautiful weather. But keep in mind, this was a very information heavy video. So again, if there's something that doesn't make sense, go ahead and rewatch the video. Make sure you watch it over and over again until it makes sense. Also as well too, as I stressed out in the beginning, these are just my experiences. You want to make sure that you always double check with the licensed professional. Also keep in mind, if you guys have any questions or there's something that didn't make sense, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So I'm gonna get going, guys, but if you found value in this video, go ahead and give me a like for the video as it helps the channel grow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that way you know when we upload new content to the channel. And lastly, don't forget to send this video to a family member or friend. I want you guys to have the same problems, right? You make too much money, you got to figure out where we put the money. And this is a good way to share knowledge and information. So hopefully my experiences help you so that way you can get to your end goal faster than I got to mine. So that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.